All right, in today's society, Schadenfreude, which is your word of the day, is defined as pleasure we feel from another person's misfortune, and it seems awfully relevant. Speaking of which, who remembers Fyre Festival? People are talking about the Dueling documentaries that came out this last week about last year's failed music festival, one on Hulu and one on Netflix. So which one will you watch, and which one is more accurate than the other, and what really happened? Here to talk to us today is Sebastian Genta. You were actually at the Fyre Festival.
I was, yeah.
Can we get the videos of when you were there? You took some videos, and we'd like to go ahead and get those up just so we can, so I can take a look at those as we're going. Here's your videos. You were actually there. When did you know something was wrong?
You know what? There was things leading up to the day that there was many signs. Like right when I was at the airport, it was like Blink-182 dropped out, and people were texting me like, you shouldn't go through with this. But we were so excited, and it was something that everyone had planned for a few months. So we were just like, you know what? Like, we're just gonna do it. What's the worst that can happen? How can this go that wrong? You know? I think when we got there and they put us on school buses, we were still like delusional.
Right.
We're like, no, it's cool. Like we'll fine. And then my friend specifically said, she was like, when I get there, I'm getting a tuna tartare. Like this is happening. And I was like, yeah, I'm so exhausted. Whatever. It turned onto the campsite, which literally looked like a refugee camp. It was like FEMA tents and gravel and mattresses on the floor. And that was a moment that we were like, this isn't fun. But
we were trying to figure out here at ET Live, we're trying to figure out how do we talk about this? Is this something that everybody knows about? What if we could find somebody who was there? And we were able to connect with you, and then you actually watched both of these documentaries.
Yes.
What were your thoughts when you were watching these? Did you feel like one was more accurate than the other?
It was a lot of fun watching it because it was kind of like, remembering everything. But I feel like the Hulu one was more so focused on him, Billy McFarland, his story, how he came to be, and also on the influencer generation, why millennials are so, you know, impacted by social media, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
And the Netflix one was more focused on the actual experience, the day of, like, what happened, what went down. They had a lot more footage of, like, what happened the day of the festival. So I feel like they're different, but they're both interesting, for sure.
So maybe if I wanted to feel what it was like to be there, I should pay more attention to the Netflix one. But if I'm really interested in Billy McFarland, I watch the Hulu one.
I mean, Hulu's more like the build of like, how did we get here, you know? And then, so they didn't really focus too much on like the day of the festival, but they're both interesting.
Well, talk me through, like, once you got there and everything was just going to... How did you get out? How did everybody else get out? Was it chaos?
I mean, to be honest, it was chaos. The minute the sun set, that's when we realized, wait, there's no electricity. We don't have our chargers, or like our phones are gonna die, so we can't use the flashlight. That's when things got scary. It was drizzling rain. There was no security. And I remember thinking, like, our flight is not till Sunday night. It's Friday night. Like, we were just like, oh my God. So at 3 in the morning, my friends woke me up in the tent and they're like, we just bought $3,000 worth of flights. And mind you, we're in the Bahamas to Miami one way.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, okay, great. And then they were like, we need to get out of here. And I'm like, okay, well, you're right. Let's leave in the morning, because we didn't know it was canceled yet. Then we wake up in the morning and they're like, it's canceled. We're setting up chartered flights. And so we called the airline and then we canceled it. Thank God we were able to get our money back. We go to the airport, and mind you, this island is this big. So there's hundreds of kids trying to get out. It's just not equipped to handle like that kind of influx of people. So we waited. I think I got to the airport like at 11 a.m. and then I didn't leave the Bahamas until like 5 or 6 p.m. and we just chilled at the airport all day.
The focus of a lot of that Hulu documentary was Billy McFarland. Like, do you feel taken advantage of? Do you feel like, I mean, obviously you were sold a bad bill of goods, but like, what is your feeling towards him all this time later? Do you feel like the guy just had a big idea and it just blew up in his face? Or do you think he set out to deceive people?
I mean, I obviously feel like his idea was to have this festival be a success. I mean, he wasn't going to get away with this, you know? So I don't think he had bad intentions. I don't think anybody involved did. I think they really set out to have this experience. My question was, how did it get this far where it actually happened? You know, like the night before, they should have just been like, okay, like this, let's be real, like this can't happen. So that is what upsets me, I think, that it got as far as it did. But I'm not like, you know, I don't think I was taken advantage of. I mean, I was, but like,
I mean, clearly, yeah, he clearly took advantage of a lot of these people. How did
Yeah.
you feel when you were watching his interview?
I mean, he's obviously a sociopath. Like, he's a liar. Like, he did not admit to anything. He just doesn't want to confront the issue or take accountability, which I thought was surprising because he's very clearly guilty, you know? So I was like, I can't believe this guy's just like not admitting it, especially on camera. But I mean, I think if anything, the viewer it just makes him out to look worse. You know, I think he should have just gone on and been like, you know what, like this is what happened, like this is how it got here. But instead, he was like, I mean, you know, he just wasn't taking accountability. So
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Sebastian, I know you are an influencer, but you're also an actor, and you're star of a new ATT series. Can you tell us real quickly about that?
Yeah, it's called Guilty Party, and my sister and I actually got to work on it together. And we play influencers on the show, like airhead influencers.
Influencers who get stuck on an island?
No, not that airheaded. But yeah, it was fun. So you should watch it on AT&T.
Cool. Guilty Party. We'll find it on AT&T.